Welcome back to the show.
Hi, welcome to the Not So Critical Update. Today we're going to be talking about old man Mike and his wish that the internet was just safer and better, and why do things not work?
Boy, I'm Peter and I know
And
everything.
yeah.
Oh, but I have an
That-
idea. I actually have an idea for what could rejuvenate Mike and really bring him a little bit closer to youthfulness.
I think I know what you're going to say.
Maybe if you got off
Tell
my
me,
lawn.
Peter, what do you think it is? What's my idea?
More subscribers.
Oh,
You
that
did
would make
it,
me
and we
happy.
are so close to 500. Please help us out. Subscribe.
Yeah.
It really means a ton to us.
You know,
And enjoy the show.
We do try really hard on this show, and we really appreciate everybody who clicks that subscribe button, because it kind of shows us that what we're doing is working.
Yep.
We try a lot of different things, and we're going to talk about it one day. But for now, thank you for your support. Anyway, enjoy the episode. Oh, hey there! How you doing? Didn't expect to see you.
We already introduced the show.
We're intro.
Ah, yeah,
we have
yeah.
an intro
Already
right
did.
behind us, Peter.
Yeah.
Oh, did the show start
Okay.
in the middle of the show?
Oh, whoa. Where am I?
I was joking around. I thought it'd be really funny
What
to
year
do
is
kind of
it?
dumb, like, oh, hey guys, didn't see you there. Hey, just been reading about really interesting story. Apparently, Google are going to be removing the padlock icon in Chrome.
Huh.
Did you hear about that? Crazy stuff,
did.
That's
huh?
crazy. How quirky.
Who shared this? Somebody in our Discord server shared this. Was this I Am Pie Test, I think?
I think it's Iron Patches. He's been very active lately.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Hello, mate. Appreciate all the. I feel bad sometimes because I can't. I don't keep up with all the stuff that's being.
Yeah,
posted.
tons of activity over there. Mr. T, IP, Violet, Iron Mastodon.
Yeah, and High Chaos.
Yeah.
Remember?
A lot of great
recently.
active users over there. Link in the description if you want to join us over on our Discord server. So when I first read this, again, story from Bleeping Computer, who we absolutely love, and I'll just read the first couple paragraphs. Google announced today that the lock icon, long thought to be a sign of website security and trustworthiness, will soon be changed with a new icon that doesn't imply that a site is secure or should be trusted. And this was the first thing that I reacted to, because it felt like Google was trying to avoid responsibility for saying whether a site was secure or not. And just say like, well, we'll give you all the information, but we're not going to say it, because then if you go, it's your responsibility, not ours. Which to some extent I think still is true. However, they go on to make a point in the article that I think is also valid. I will concede that while first introduced to show that a website was using HTTPS encryption to encrypt connections, the lock symbol is no longer needed, given that more than 99% of all web pages are now loaded with HTTPS, and including landing pages for phishing attacks and malicious purposes. Right. So I will concede that it was probably not telling anything useful and was giving you maybe a false sense of security.
For your regular old Joe, seeing the lock icon up there where it says Microsoft-login-notafishingsite.com is definitely something that they're not going to notice that the URL is fucked up. They're going to notice that there is a green or blue check mark that's like, all good here. You are good to sign in.
But the argument,
I think it's right.
The argument they're making, though, is even those sites are going to have certificates now. And so it's not really like, then it's giving them a false sense of security.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is I'm agreeing with you. I'm just painting the picture here that it is an improvement. I think HTTPS has been adopted, right? It's now very, very small number of countries that would be, affected by this. I think I want to say like Iran and a couple others have problems with HTTPS, but where are you going? So Mike's really stretching here, you guys. He is so fucking bored. It's crazy.
Here's the thing, right? When we brought this up on Discord, Mike was like, "Oh no, crap! Oh, don't like that. Change. Oh, no.
Change.
Sorry,
no,
I like
sir, not for me.
Yes,
I'm
going to be writing
just
a very
like me.
strongly worded letter to my senator.
You can rip this padlock from my cold, dead hands.
Yeah, but even
and Peter said,
we decided,
"Boy, mate, you need to be more flexible."
Greatest
I genuinely tried to
ever.
introduce Grandpa to the idea of, the fact that it might not be really very useful anymore. And it seems to have actually come around this time. So I guess the new medication is working.
Well, no, I guess I concede that the lock icon is not useful because it's not really telling you anything. What I still would say, though, is that giving people more options is going to make them see less of it.
What do you mean? How are they giving them more options?
You're muted, John, I think, if you were talking.
Oh, yeah. To kind of excite you here, Mike, I want to bring some excitement back into this topic. We're going to go all the way back to 1994.
Okay.
Netscape is the big talk of the town. And they are now implementing something called the Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure.
Okay.
Also known as HTTPS. A protocol on top of a protocol, a protocol addition, a layer on top of the well-known HTTP. You're very familiar with HTTP. I think it came out right around the time you were up and coming in your heyday, in your prime. And shit, I didn't think that you would go along with it for so long. So I'm kind of running out of context here because this Wikipedia article.
I thought we were getting a history lesson.
No, I just thought you'd be like, and then like start.
I'll tell you one thing it gives me hope for is DNSSEC. I don't know if anybody knows what that is, and this is a bit of a tangent, but HTTP, which is the protocol where we transfer web pages between a server and your browser, used to be largely unencrypted, and that meant that anybody in between you and the server could intercept and at least read or potentially modify the data that was being sent back and forth. So if you went to a bank website and it was unencrypted, then you wouldn't know that the data that was coming back was the same. And even if it was the same, it could be that somebody was monitoring it and got your bank login details and stuff. That's why HTTPS is such an important thing, is because we need encryption on the internet.
Yes.
Because there's lots of different hops. It's not just used straight to the server. There's all these routers and stuff in the way, and people on your local Wi-Fi network and all that kind of stuff. So DNSSEC, for anybody who's not familiar, is extensions to the DNS. And the DNS is the domain name system. It's the thing that handles domain names like google.com or youtube.com or whatever. And there's all sorts of extra information associated with domains, most notably IP addresses, which allow the computer to be able to find out which server to access and stuff like that. DNS is largely unencrypted. It's like HTTP was a few years ago. And it's partly because DNSSEC is adding the same thing that HTTPS has, which is SSL, Secure Socket Layer, on top of DNSSEC and a whole bunch of other things as well. Actually, no, that's not true. That's completely wrong. Sorry. DNSSEC is about verifying that you're actually getting the right information about a domain. Sorry. The unencrypted bit is encrypted DNS, like DNS.
So without DNSSEC, could someone alter the response from the DNS server, or maybe like do something like, I don't know, like poison it maybe?
Yes, a thing called cache poisoning, which is a terrible term for for most people, but because it's very difficult to understand. But essentially, it's a way of poisoning the results that you get back via a fairly complicated technique. But it means that you can't really, when you ask your local server, DNS server, give me the IP address for google.com, you can't be 100% sure that what you're getting back is the real IP address without DNSSEC. There is a thing called encrypted DNS, which is the connection between you and your local DNS resolver, which is a bit more like HTTPS. So these two things combined are going to give us some.
How would you know?
How would you know?
Yeah.
You can't. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Unless you control your own DNS server, right? Unless you're in full control of the entire road.
Nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to do that.
Well, you're saying no, Peter, but if I'm in control of both my authoritative, if I own Google, and sorry, it's just kind of an absurd example. If I own like I
don't like seeing you amusing yourself. It's kind of, it's very adorable.
End of show. Never mind.
I'm sorry. No. You had a really good question. It's just kind of nice to see you giggling to yourself. I like it. That's all. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to patronize you or anything, you little sweetie. You just do your own thing.
Good job.
If you own an authoritative server and you query it directly, and you have encrypted DNS, then you are getting the right results back. But if you don't have encrypted DNS, you still don't know if it's right, because some of the routers in the middle could have intercepted and modified data that's being sent back to you.
So for anybody who's still watching,
sorry guys,
here's
I'm a DNS nerd.
Here's my issue with this lock icon. I work with a bunch of retired people, and one of them, who even knows how long ago, had their email hacked, and it created this cycle where everybody in the group would get emails that looked like they were coming from everybody else in the group with their names, but they would then have an attachment that was a malicious attachment. And I, as a trained IT professional, could clearly see that these were malicious emails trying to get you to click a link, open an attachment. But none of these people who are not IT people and who did not grow up with computers can recognize this. So when I think of this lock icon going away, my frustration is that we need a single indicator that says, yes, this is a valid email, or no, this is not a valid email.
Hello? Yeah. Rather than email, we're talking about web pages here, right?
But same idea. The problem with the email is I have to say, okay, well, you can tell it's not a valid email because of this. Just look at these 5 things, and you can't tell people that about a website.
Sorry, Peter, before I just want to add that, Mike, it's important. I'm sorry. You're complaining that the tomatoes taste bad when it's the apples that are being changed.
What?
Sorry, I should have used apples.
I think he was just using email as an example.
But it's not a good example, because you're like, I'm angry about the
No. It's the same thing, because the question is, how do I recognize if this is a valid thing that I'm looking at? And in the case of email, go ahead, Peter.
To answer that specific point, I think there's 2 things that will happen. The first is that you can still see whether the connection is secure by clicking the icon next to the URL.
You see, that's it already. Like, nobody's going to click that.
Okay.
You've already lost me.
But I don't
need to know that the connection is secure.
I think the default is going to be that it will highlight red when it's not using HTTPS. That was my understanding.
But also this article is making it clear that that's not really the problem, and you just outlined how DNS hijacking is a bigger issue, and even if they have a certificate doesn't mean it's a safe site. So the problem's getting worse, not better. Yes, they're taking away this meaningless indicator, but now you have nothing to look at to know if your site you're looking at is safe or not. You have nothing to look at to know if the email you're looking at is a valid email or not. There are no easy indicators that a normal person can see who's not one of the 3 of us saying, well, check this and check this and check this and check this.
A general complaint. Okay. Fair enough.
The padlock kind of used to be that thing.
But it's not.
Not really. No.
You're not arguing that it really is anymore at all. You're just saying everything's stuck.
I'm saying we need something like that.
Oh, well, then you're just saying build the whole system back up from the ground. You're saying scorched earth in terms of 3 of the 3 biggest internet protocols, right?
Why isn't the internet more secure?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying fix it. I don't care if you burn everything down.
Internet needs to be more secure. I agree.
Tell you how to do it.
I'm just saying that I feel like we're not really talking about the problem here. Yes, there are problems with email and verifying authenticity. Yes, there are problems with DNS and how we're still running clear text DNS. We're talking about the fucking padlock going away, you guys. Like, it's just do away with it. Get it out of here, Google. I agree with them 100%.
Yeah.
Up until when Let's Encrypt came out with the free certificate generation tool.
Yeah, that was it.
What?
It was all over then.
It was all over.
Yeah.
Anyone could generate a cert for free because that was the big push, right? Get everyone on HTTPS. And obviously a byproduct, a consequence of that is that the bad guys also get to generate certs now. So really, like, that's where this whole thing ended. We shouldn't care about the padlock anymore. Like what Peter said, if you're about to hit an HTTP site, Google's going to yell at you.
It's really annoying, actually. I don't like the way it works.
Same.
Well, because if you go to a site that doesn't exist, it says that site doesn't support HTTPS. And then you try and click continue, and it goes, that site doesn't exist. It's really annoying because it tries to locate the HTTPS version of the site before it tries to validate.
You have to actually type in HTTP : whatever the fuck.
Right. So if you go to like nonexistent.example.com, it will go HTTPS nonexistent.example.com. I can't connect to port 443, and it will go, hey, this site doesn't support SSL. And then you'll go, okay, we'll continue anyway. Don't worry about it.
But
and then it will go, the site doesn't exist.
That's not what I get at example.com.
No, nonexistent.example.com.
Oh, nonexistent.example.com? Should I bring it up?
Yeah, try it. Okay, this is not fun.
Oh, no.
Site can't be reached. What does it say?
It just says
DNS. It says DNS
not available. I was just I was just messing with you. It doesn't matter.
No. Yeah. I think it's because I have a setting in Brave or Chrome or whatever that says try to reach the HTTPS version first. Okay.
Do you want to do a screen share and walk through those settings, Peter?
No, I do not. It's very boring. I'm sorry for anybody who had to go through that. Let's end the episode as we should have done about 10 minutes ago. Thank you very much for watching. We love you all. Hi to everyone out there.